Hello and welcome to Worldwide People's Championships. This is the very first game of U1200. It has finally happened. We got the low division. Actually, we see here Alex is already a little above 1200, but still curious, still not really sure about how we'll make the rules for the championship. Maybe we'll make it more than 1500 for the limit for the champion. But if you sign up when you're at 1200 and by the time you play, you're over, it's not a big deal, especially for this division. But in this one, we got a Cybern versus Aeon fight. Cybern, Gnomebringer. I believe he's an Aussie, going first land. Of course, this is a really cool map. There are some civs you do have to be aware of. And Alex, he's an American playing as Aeon. And one thing that's happened actually here, a bit of organization problem. Since this is the very first week of U1200, wanted to get a couple more games to determine the champion, so I kind of bent the rules and asked people to do best of threes, but then there was confusion because that is against the rules. These are usually played as just single games, so at the end of the day we're going to change this to single games, and it will just be 3 games to determine the first champion, which will be 2 games in round 1, and then those winners will play on Ball Me FA to figure out who the champion is. And of course then whoever the champion is will be challenged next week parallel to other divisions. Of course U2000 still an option, but not enough good players who want to play. Although this week is really awesome. We got an excellent U1700 and also the U2000 is pretty good as well. And it looks like the Tempest is on, so the champions for U1700, U2000 are on, ready to play. Hopefully those games happen. And I really like the maps from this week as well. Also, people watching these videos, please be vocal about which maps you'd like to see, or other ideas for tourneys, things like that. Appears that in this game, though, Alex much more aggressive to the middle. He's going to get a whole bunch of he's going to use his ACU to get a whole bunch of mass in the middle. This is very good use of his ACU. Of course, there's a lot of different choke points here in the middle. Really unfortunate we don't see too much of this map. Looks like second air though from Gnomebringer. 1 NG on power. Probably should have got the Hydra a little quicker. And also lost a couple engineers, actually two engineers to the civs. So civilians on Alex's side. A bit unfortunate. An engineer to the middle, pretty aggressive. Alex with a point defense. And a raider. This is a good placement, a raider from Alex. So even though these players are lower on the global rankings, they're doing quite a few things correctly. And this right here is a mistake. Gnomebringer absolutely getting dominated by the civs, losing both bombers and engineers against these. It's really just a lack of knowledge of the map. Gnomebringer though running into Alex ACU is going to try to deny this point defense. It does. Just a couple ACUs shooting at each other. More land factories coming out for Alex. Actually no air yet for Alex, but of course now an interceptor. Air defense for Alex was provided via the civilians. Now Gnomebringer retreats. He's only got his second land factory. Very good on power, very low on build capacity. That's one thing he probably should work on. And of course expanding didn't work because of the civilians. Also expanding up here didn't work for Alex. Actually flag here for these civs also helping out. So in this situation, gesture probably a very good idea for Gnomebringer. You can control it, start killing things. For example, this power storage would be great. This is also a very nice mantis here from Gnomebringer. Is going to deny a lot of expansion. Take a little bit of micro for Gnomebringer to go around these civs, get these 3 mass extractors, because otherwise there is a advantage for Alex in terms of build, in terms of map control. And that bomber missed. As soon as Alex gets this flag right here, it's really going to make the air option not very effective for Gnomebringer. Gnomebringer, good idea to use air, but not very good execution. Good bomb on that raider. Alex also coming in with his ACU could get himself in trouble, going directly against Gnomebringer's main base. Gnomebringer is going to come back. Didn't finish this point defense. And actually now this gesture could make things very interesting, depending on how low Alex goes on his ACU. Alex full retreat. Is now fighting the ACU as well. He does have a couple of Auroras in support. And actually, Alex here, well, these Auroras will even things out. I think Nullbringer should keep on coming in. But now Flak for Alex, good response. Will force this Jester away. Jester probably needs to fly somewhere else, but now with that stationary Flak covering that whole front base, not a good situation. Also, this point defense probably could be cancelled for Nullbringer. No reason to build that anymore. But the problem for Nullbringer this entire game is the lack of mass. He's just sitting on his initial couple of mass extractors, unable to get these. And of course the middle taken by Alex. That's an extra mass extractor. And more land factories now for Alex here, minute 7. Alex completely stalling on his mass. One thing, he does have a lot of factories, but he's using most of his mass to make new ones, which is not the best thing to do. Nullbringer also stalling, too much power. Probably doesn't need to make any more factories either. He just needs to expand, grab map control, grab mass somewhere. Both players a little too much power. But this Jester has been excellent. Really like the fact Nullbringer is using air. I think if he didn't run into all these civs and all this flak, he would be in a very good position. Meanwhile, both players having a lot of problems grabbing these top mass extractors. Looks like the ACU is the main target. In this situation, I think using the Jester to kill off Auroras and other units, also engineers, is the best way to go. The ACU is just a little too much health for a single Jester. Take a long time to kill and not likely to succeed. And then the ACU just recovers the health. Alex, good defense against with the ACU. Nullbringer's ACU, a little disappointed. I think he put a lot more pressure on Alex there together with the Jester. Could have perhaps won the middle, could have really turned the game. However, that did not happen. One thing that's happened that's good for Nullbringer, he stopped producing factories, just sitting on 4 factories. It's a good amount for the amount of mass that he has, so he should be getting a pretty good amount of units. Also, Alex here getting an upgrade in a very dangerous position. Pressure from Nullbringer could really make his life difficult. Nullbringer attacking the correct units, but once again, Alex wasting a lot of mass on the map on production of factories. These Manta have a bit out of position. They could be coming in here, doing some raiding. Nullbringer a little less than half health. So is Alex. Now these Manta need to get close. When they get close, they can be in a big nuisance. But it looks like numbers for the Auroras. Very similar numbers. Some reclaim still left over for Nullbringer that he's not picking up. Actually, one thing we can check, the reclaim 2000 for Alex, Nullbringer 1500, very similar, but 500 difference. 10 minutes into the game will make a difference. Looks like this wall hasn't been completed for a long time. And still here, coming up minute 11, nobody has picked up those mass extractors. I think if either player would have picked those up, it would have really made the huge difference. Now Alex, once he's done with this upgrade, that could be the end for Nullbringer. Also, one good thing that Alex is doing, picking up all this reclaim. And now these Auroras. I really think Aeon plus the good move with the ACU is really the difference in this game. Of course, can't forget about the civilians. Civilians always helping Americans. And now Tech 2, this is interesting. Now Tech 2 land from Nullbringer. Nullbringer continues to kill Auroras with his ACU, now at 27 kills, Alex at 21, and Tech 2 point defense from Nullbringer. A bit of a turtle strategy here. And finally an engineer gets into a position to go ahead and get some mass extractors. Stops to get some reclaim. Alex now with the gun, putting Nullbringer in a lot of trouble. Point defense, Tech 2 point defense against Nullbringer. It looks like just a little too much firepower now. Good overcharge. Alex actually playing this quite dangerously, but he's just got too much advantage, and looks like this game will be over here. Minute 13. Actually, no, Nullbringer escapes 500. Alex playing a little safe. Nullbringer retreats to point defense, but now things really not looking good. Tech 2 land, this hoplite could be very good against the Auroras. Still more land factories finally paused. Way too much mass invested in those. Gnombringer, 33 kills, 1,000 health. Hoplite continues to outrange the Aurora. Finally, the wall has been completed. Multiple walls for Alex. Alex 29 kills. As long as Gnombringer keeps his Hoplite out range, could be in good shape here, but looks like DC might get a little close. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Good overcharge for Alex. And that means the Tech 2 land factories is now going to be destroyed. This perhaps could be the final battle. Alex 40 kills, Gnombringer 33. Gnombringer is going to call it GG. It's a good methodical victory here for Alex. He's going to move into the next round. And we got the other round 1 game coming up. Hello and welcome to the other game of round 1 of this U1200, the Worldwide People's Championships first week of this division. And this one we got the Monster. He's already played a couple of games in Worldwide People's Championships in U1700. And Don Facili. Don Facili from Belgium. The Monster, I can't exactly remember where he's from, but somewhere Eastern Europe. The western part of Eastern Europe somewhere, but can't remember the country exactly. But let's see, it's West versus East here. Seraphim versus Aeon. Of course, in the other game we saw the American win. Who's going to play the winner of this one on Balmy FA to determine the first champion. Looks like first land for Facili, and of course, what we saw in the previous game was these point defenses and civilians making a huge impact. The Monster also going first land, now Scout after the first 2 engineers. Also going to the Hydra, nice reclaim. Available, should players choose to grab that. Appears Don Facili is going to move to the middle, he's going to try to grab that factory. And this mask extractor by both ACs is going to the middle pretty quick. We see multiple civilians from Facili, Scout, and the Flare. This Flare could make a big difference. Good Scout is going to spot those 2 civilians. Flare gets the first kill for the Monster. Will it get the other? Really good defense here from the Monster. Good Flare. Now he can come in and try to play suppress against the engineers, but Tank's not coming in for Don Facili. 2 ACs meet each other in the middle nearly at the same time, also getting some reclaim. So very even game here after 2 minutes, and looks like that Flare with 2 kills is going to get destroyed. Good tanks for Don Facili. Actually do quite a bit of damage here on the bottom, but now Auroras plus a Scout coming in. Really good play for the Monster. I like the way he uses the Scouts. Also like the fact that he's using Aeon, my favorite faction. Second land on a single Hydra. It looks like Bombers might be on the cards here for Facili. Facili choosing to go second air against Aeon, not surprising. Also getting a whole bunch of flag for whatever reason. And both players choosing to put tanks on either side of this hill. Actually, Seraphim artillery, imagine, would be very nice in these type of terrain. Great Scout for Facili. He's got total air control now. He's got total recon. It looks like third air now from the Monster. Of course, as we saw in the previous game, it's very dangerous to use air on this map given the civilians. A great micro from the Monster doing some dodging. Aurora plus a Scout, very powerful when you micro them. And now an engineer for the Monster. Looks like he's going to grab these mask extractors now. Engineers here for Facili. So the Monster is in a position to begin to grab map control, but somehow it's a big discrepancy in the scores. I'm not really sure why. Don Facili, total mass stall here. Not too much power, good amount of power. Imagine if he had more mass, he'd have more power problems getting more land factories. He's actually got a Tech 2 mask extractor. The Monster, meanwhile, has plenty of mass. He's making more power. He definitely needs more power, but his eco doesn't actually look that bad. And he's going to have a lot more mask extractors. Is it the reclaim that's the difference? 500 for the Monster, Don Facili. 15, yeah, so 1,000 extra reclaim for Facili. There's a couple of rocks here that should be picked up by the Monster. Also Facili taking over the middle. Quite a bit of reclaim there, and the Monster actually a little low on health here. appears that land control is beginning to shift in Vasili's favor. Of course, he's not really using it because his engineers didn't make it or something. He's not taking those 3 mass extractors. And actually, good move here from the monster. He's going to take out the civs. That's free reclaim. It's good work. There's a lot of point defenses there, however. So I do think the monster is in a good position to make a comeback. Although this Tech 2 mass extractor is going to give a pretty big advantage for Vasily the rest of the game. Here come the Aurors. A little more aggressive. Probably leading with the ACU and then following up with the Aurors. The monster getting up power, the single engineer, this is good. Also some interceptors, good air force for the monster. And given that Vasily wants second air, the lack of bombers is pretty surprising. I don't understand why there are no bombers. And this Aurora here could just come in here on the bottom undetected. Kill those engineers would be a good move. Perhaps an attack here from Don Vasily. And I think I disagree with this move from Vasily. He's just ran into the ACU and the Superior War Force. Good reclaim now available for the monster. Don Vasily just starting an upgrade. It is going to be the gun. If he's allowed to get that, that's going to absolutely shred the Auroras. These already though doing a lot of work, and I'd love to see some engineers. Yeah, engineers coming in and get a lot of reclaim for the monster. The monster actually going up ahead in the score. Quite a bit of that score though is the fact that he's killing civilians. I'd love for him to get more factories. Actually, Tech 2 land, which he's not using, which is very surprising. The monster has finished the upgrade on his ACU to minute 8. He needs to get more units though, because if he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble. The units numbers are really increasing for Vasily, and once he gets the gun, which he's going to get shortly, it's going to be a lot of pressure on the monster. The monster needs to take his eco. This is the problem for the monster. Build capacity. He's got everything except build capacity, which basically means he's not really using his factories. And I thought I saw Tech 2. No, it wasn't Tech 2. So once you make factories, you got to make sure that they're building something. Otherwise, they're quite useless. And I really think if they were, the monster would have a huge force right now. And the sooner he starts, the more chance he's going to have. Because right now he's just sitting there. Vasily's got the gun and he's going to move in. And if nothing changes, this is going to be a rather easy victory for Vasily, which is unfortunate because the only difference was the fact that the factories for the monster were not producing units. And of course against Aeon especially, his gun is absolutely deadly, and it looks like it'll be game over very easily for Don Vasily. A bit unfortunate, and also Tech 2 flak here, Tech 2 land. So the monster, I think he actually played well and made a single mistake. And Don Vasily using the gun, which is always a good idea against Aeon, to end the game very quickly. So we're going to see Don Vasily versus Axel. It can be Belgium versus United States. Hello and welcome to the very first final of U1200 division. It'll be a single game to determine the first champion. Don Vasily from Belgium going Seraphim, taking on Alex, who's going Aeon. Really nice to see new players using Aeon. Of course, quite dangerous without micro. This map actually really good once you get used to it. It's very unusual. If you look at the terrain, huge mountains. You can see this is basically a big path between two mountains, huge lakes, very deep lakes, very strange things where you can hide. Also, these things here, pretty good reclaim if you want to get here. Alex hates this map, although it's pretty good for Aeon, given these lakes. Let's see, and also definitely want to ask people, I don't know if I mentioned this already, suggest maps that you'd like to see on Worldwide People's Championships. And we probably won't be making any new divisions. I think we have a really good distribution. The U1200, U1700, U2000, and then over 2000, which probably won't happen for a long time. And I think the rule will make for U1200, the champion will remain the U1200 champion until they hit 1400 rating, and then they'll automatically become the challenger for U1700. So very similar to U1700, except in that case, once the champion for U1700 becomes 1800, they become automatically the challenger for U2000. And if Iridium Belows hits 2100 global rating, he will become the first O2000 champion, unless that division gets started. Then he'll become the challenger. Hopefully that makes sense. Don Facili, going air and a couple land factories, more land factories. Nice Celine here. Alex more aggressive with the ACU, you could say. Also a good engineer here from Don Facili, getting a whole bunch of reclaim. Is going to give him a big advantage against Alex. Alex moving out with his ACU. Also got air. And this is something that Alex likes to do, power storage next to hydro. It's actually, that bonus that you get is not worth the danger you put yourself in. If that power storage blows up, the hydro goes, and won't kill the factory, but will damage it significantly. So a great target for some bombers right there. And then if you put multiple of those at the same time, you might actually lose your factory as well. Of course, this map, quite a bit of it is map control. You can see these darker areas are hills. Getting those hills is a very good idea. You want to choose which one you want to get. So the middle choke point, a lot of fights happen here. Facili is going to try to get something established in this position. Also, we see major scouting from Don Facili. See if he follows it up with some bombers, because last game he did the same thing with scouts, but then made interceptors. For whatever reason, I think one scout, then bombers is the best way to go until you see interceptors, and then you switch to interceptors. No reason to get this interceptor, given that your scout told you that there's no interceptors. So far, map control, I believe, is going to shift in Don Facili's favor. He's got ACU here on the bottom, plenty of units to the top. This is a good base, though, for Alex. Multiple land factories might put him in position to grab the top. The middle definitely belongs to Alex with the ACU. But here we might see an attack from Don Facili. It's a really steep hill here. It's one thing that's very unusual in this map. If you look from far away, you don't realize that this is actually a big hole, which does affect how you want to control your units. And definitely a lot more units for Don Facili, although Alex getting more land factories pretty quick. This is one thing that he invested in, which is questionable. But he's got huge amounts of power storage now, so he can overcharge at will, probably many times. And that was some overcharges there. He doesn't want to get himself in too much trouble. He does have some units that he can retreat to. More overcharges. So Alex putting those power storages to use. Very good stuff, and actually may put Don Facili in some danger given all these auroras. There are some tanks in support, and yeah, this is a lot of tanks now for Don Facili, actually getting behind Alex, and now overcharged for Facili as well. Alex is going to find himself without any support. He's got another group of units, perhaps who want to come in here and save the ACU as well as these factories. Facili is going to push Alex likely into this pond. Probably Alex will have to jump into here to save himself. But now the Aurora is going to come in to clean up. So nice back and forth here. And this is Alex playing very well, multiple different positions for land factories. He just wants to survive this. Does not want to die in this position. But map control could be shifting in Alex's favor. It looks like he's going to grab the top. This is nice radar. And he's definitely grabbing all this. This is a lot of engineers. Should be able to grab those mass extractors. Don Facili, about half health, grabbing the middle. But Alex here, perhaps a little micro, could take it. Still not a single bomber, especially from Don Facili. Very strange not to see those because they absolutely devastate Auroras. Alex 27 kills, Facili 17. Facili continues to push, but this is a lot of production for Alex. Alex at 30. If he can get 10 more, it's another veterancy level. And he really, I think, needs to retreat into the pond because Facili has a lot more health than he does, and some overcharges to the face of Alex. And this is a really good point of defense for Alex, but Alex has to be running into the pond, otherwise he is going to die here. it's a bit of a mistake, I think, from Alex. I think he was in a very good position on this map, but retreated into their own direction. So when you retreat, you got to retreat to a safe place. And Don Facili, with the aggression, is going to be the first U1200 champion. Another victory for Seraphim. Thought it was very well played by Alex. I really like this position of his units. I think if he would have saved his ACU, it would have been in a very good shape, but it did not happen. So congratulations to Don Facili. So we got our first Belgian champion in Worldwide People's Championships here in U1200.